Last time we were talking about Mario Maker 2, we had a discussion on the enemies that didn't quite make the cut for the game, and we talked only about Mario Bros. 2 and Mario Bros. 3 enemies and discussed how they could have added so much more to Mario Maker as potential updates. But today we will be moving to part 2 of our enemy list and looking at Super Mario World and New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. We have a total of 17 different enemies to talk about with you guys today, and I am so excited to get into it. Before we get started, if you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. If you guys also would like, join the official Nintendo Land Discord. The link is in the description down below, where you can chat with me and other subscribers about anything Nintendo. You could also get your name put in the list at the very beginning or the very end of my videos. Without further ado, let's get into the list of 17 enemies that didn't quite make the cut in Super Mario Maker 2. The amazing Flying Hammer Brothers, yes, that's actually their technical name, can fly back and forth and chucking hammers to and fro. They're kind of like the Sumo Bros, but they just stand there and float back and forth with these blocks. What's so cool about these guys is once you kill them, you can use their blocks as some type of cool platforming challenge, and I think a lot of people can make some cool levels out of these guys. Blargs, believe it or not, appear in a lot of different Mario games, just in different forms. And what they are just lava dragon monster things. Yeah, they come out of lava and try to eat Mario, similar to the fish in the water levels, but there's nothing else in lava levels that really try to attack you out of the lava besides like Potoboos and fireballs, so why not have a fire dragon that jumps out and tries to attack you from time to time? You can control the size and, you know, where they jump at. I don't know, maybe give a direction of jumping at you, maybe if it's a low jump or a high jump or a left to the right, up, down, whatever. I think this would be pretty cool. We don't have too many lava distractions or monsters or anything like that, so this would add to a lot of the Bowser levels. Charging Chucks are one of the most requested enemies I've seen in my comments so far, and I love these guys too, so don't get me wrong, they definitely should have been included, as they could have appeared in almost every theme. Even in Odyssey, they appeared, so why not throw them in 3D World? I mean, you already had the 3D mechanics and the way they look and the way they work. They just charge at Mario, and they can break through objects if they do hit them. You can jump on them twice to kill them, once to knock the helmet off, and again to finish the enemy off. I think these guys are really cool, and you can make like a whole sports theme level with a ton of these guys, maybe like a whole football team rushing at Mario. Rex is a friendly looking dinosaur until he actually can hurt you, but he's also another two-hit enemy where you have to jump on him once, it'll squish his body down like an accordion, and you have to jump on him again to finish him off. Now, these enemies don't add anything too drastic to the gameplay, so I can keep them in Super Mario World's style only, because they don't really add anything else for any other game, because they never appeared again after Super Mario World. So, you know, they're not drastic enemies that had to be in, but it's something that I think lots of people wouldn't mind if they joined. Dino Rhinos are another form of dinosaur like Rex that we have in Super Mario World, and they can spit fire, which is pretty cool, and maybe you can have them set on fire different bombs and stuff to blow up different blocks and open up different parts of the level. Super Koopa is just like a mini Koopa Troopa, but with a cape, and a t-shirt, and no pants. Yeah, I don't know what was going on here with the design process, but it's weird that we don't have these guys in the game currently, because we do have the Super Leaf, which gives Mario in turn the Super Cape. So why is there no enemy that actually has this power-up in order for us to attain that enemy from them? Well, I don't know, but it's nothing that really changed the game like I said, but it would be nice to have an enemy that actually honed the power-up that's in the game. Swoopers are another Mario Brothers staple, I feel like, that are almost in every single Mario Brothers game. Swoopers are just bats that hang from the ceiling and drop down to try to attack you when you walk by. These would be kind of cool aesthetics for like cave levels or underground themes, because swoopers are just bats. Why not just add bats? Fish and Boos is probably one of those enemies that you do not remember. Now, it's funny because they don't resemble Boos at all, but rather a Lakitu, so this could be a separate form of Lakitu that you can choose from the menu. Well, all this thing does is follow you around, like Lakitu, but he has a fishing rod this time, and he has a flame of fire at the end of the rod, which he tries to hit you with. You'll have to keep ducking and dodging him, and I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure you can't even defeat this guy without a powerful power-up such as a star. The Fuzzy is another enemy that's highly demanded on people's list. Why? Well, I think it's because of the rails in this game. You can put different things and different enemies on the rails, but they don't act the same as Fuzzies. You can make them huge and they'll always attack Mario, and you can't just defeat them. They'll continue to go around the rail unless you have something powerful like a star. And this makes for very interesting scroll levels on top of railings, because these Fuzzies can jump off of rails, bounce off of rails, spin through the air, and I'm sure they'll just be a lot of fun to play around with and make an absolutely crazy course in the sky. I just absolutely adore the names of these guys. Thwimps, they're just little baby versions of Thwomps, and their movement patterns are a lot different. Thwomps can just slam on the ground, and now in Mario Maker 2, they can also slam to the right or to the left, but Thwimps have a custom pattern that they will travel in, and you will have two different spots you can mark, and they'll jump back and forth between those two spots, which makes it very hard for you to dodge both them and their older Thwomp counterparts. So I can see this being a really cool tool. We already have the Thwomps in the game, so why not shake them up like you guys love to say. I say a lot in the comments. I understand I say shaking enemies a lot. I get it. But shake up the Thwomp, get yourself a Thwimp, you'll be good to go. I think bullet bills should turn into Torpedoteds underneath the water, and let me tell you why. So, Torpedoteds are different than bullet bills. For one, they look different. They have a little propeller in the back, and they can also follow Mario underwater. Well, I know you can have a bullet bill that's red, a homing one underwater, but it's not the same. Torpedoteds can actually explode and blow up things underwater in contact, and if you know bullet bills, they don't really run into anything and blow up, and in fact, they actually go through most of things in Mario games. Now, technically, for Amp, you could just use a spike block and place it somewhere on the stage, because Amps just stay remote for most of the time. Yes, they can move in certain situations, but for the most part, they just stand there floating around, and if you bump into him, you get electrocuted and lose one of your power-ups. So, I mean, it's not necessary, but I think it looks a lot cooler than just throwing spike blocks everywhere as your traps, so why not give Amp a chance? So Balloon Boo is not the only instance here that I'm looking for. I just think a bigger Boo would work. We can't give Boos mushrooms right now, and there's no way to make them bigger. So you got some options here. You have the kind of mini boss Boo from Super Mario World that you have to hit 3 times with blocks, or you could have Balloon Boo, which is just a giant Boo that inhales air and then starts deflating it as it's coming towards you. Unagi is a giant underwater eel, and I think it'd be really cool to have these in Mario Maker. Maybe you can put caves down underwater, which will be the spawn point of these crazy creatures, and they will come out and try to attack and bite Mario. Maybe you can make how many spaces they come out, and maybe even have them come all the way out of the cave and chase Mario throughout the level, and actually draw a path or destination for them to follow. That would be something really cool, and help the water theme levels a lot more. Bruisers are very similar to charging chucks, and they will chase after you non-stop, swinging their fists trying to completely punch you in the head. They can break through lots of blocks and could be used for some cool puzzle types of levels in the Ghost Mansion. Plus, we can use some more creepy, scary enemies within these ghost houses. Scuttle bugs are spiders that normally reside in the forest, and what happens is they fall from the top of the screen with their webs and try to attack Mario, and it's as simple as that. But sometimes, like in the later games, such as New Super Mario Bros. 2, you can actually climb and walk on their webs that are in the background and use them as kind of like the grates that you do in Super Mario World. So there's some things that they could do with these, and it could be really fun. We don't have too many jungle enemies, so why not have them and Wigglers, and then you got your jungle theme going on. And last but not least, did you know that the Whomps were actually in a Mario Bros. Game? In New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, they appeared in the background and would fall forward and try to smash you, and you could butt bounce to break them. I think this would be pretty cool because we don't have too many background enemies unless you go to the 3D World theme and have the bullet bill shoot at you. So I think this is something different and pretty unique that we haven't seen yet for Mario Maker 2. And those are 17 enemies that I feel should have been included in a Mario Maker 2. Well, of course, guys, remember those are only 2 different games we talked about today, being Super Mario World and New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. Our last video covered Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Bros. 3, so if you want to see those enemies, check that out. But also, if you guys have any more enemies for the future games coming up, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to add them in the next video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya, guys.